Peace and blessings. This is your LGBTQAI host, inspirational speaker, and wellness coach, Mr. DB Marshall. Thank you for joining us and welcome to another episode of The Same Project. Here we like to talk about everything wellness to help bridge gaps around the world to strengthen our communities. Something I like to call breaking the change. Let's get started. Hey, once again, you are at The Same Project. This is your host, DB Marshall, your wellness coach and inspirational speaker. And thank you for joining us for another episode of empowerment and hopefully enlightenment. So today we have Larry, Eric, and David. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Y'all feeling good, feeling real good today?
Yes, sir.
Fabulous.
So let's get it kicking off with our affirmation or even a quote. I don't know if this is an affirmation. It's more of a reminder. Keeping love alive in our marriages is a serious business. Well, there's only one person that's on here that's married. So we'll do the right thing and give him the honors, Eric. How long you been married for?
September 6th will be 2 years.
Okay. And
September 6th will be 2 years.
You got married?
4 years.
Awesome. All right. So how is it important?
Dated 3.
Go ahead.
Engaged 1.
Okay.
Say it again.
How is it important for you to keep the love alive? And is it hard for you?
It's not hard when not only do I love you, but I like you.
Ooh, there's a difference.
Yeah, it's it was not hard for our lives to blend or our worlds to collide. It wasn't hard at all. I knew what I wanted, and so I knew what I wanted going into the relationship. And I talked when I'm dating guys, I talk to them about what their vision is for a relationship. What do you see in your relationship? And without me coaching him or saying anything, he was giving me what I knew I was looking for.
Okay, baby.
So, I mean, like our first date, we both knew at the end of our date that, yeah, this is about to be it. It's about to be, yeah.
David?
I mean, of course, I'm not married. I'm not gonna cry about it.
Yeah. Please don't cry. Please don't cry. Oh, let me add this. I was married previously. I was married to my kid's mom first. So I hate to say it like this, but I learned what I really wanted in that marriage.
Exploration.
So now I'm married to a man, and I knew what I wanted then, but I was fighting it. That's a whole nother show. But yeah, this time.
Let me write that down.
So this marriage, I know, I'm coming in equipped, ready, geared up, and I'm happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think it's important, and also that there should always be a rediscovery of each other.
Yeah.
I mean,
always.
You can't get so complacent that you don't learn something new about who you're with, or that person doesn't learn something new about you. Because life, I mean, I may look the same as I looked 5 years ago, but I'm not the same. You know what I mean? I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. I've grown, and I've made some mistakes, and I've grown from those mistakes. So now you're meeting a new part of me. So each time that we go through something, we got to discuss it so we can still have that connection. Because now, even in a good relationship, you have conflicts. So that when you have disagreements or little spats, you have to be able to turn those into conversations and not a yelling match.
Yeah.
You know what
Exactly.
I mean? because now nobody's being heard. You're just
Mm-mm.
making a whole lot of noise. And what I've learned in communication, that if and I do this when I counsel married couples, let this one talk. Now you tell this one exactly what they just said to you.
Mm-hmm. What you heard?
When they, right, what you heard, when they say it's going to be a little different, but then that one will understand what they were saying to this one, and then you do it vice versa, and then they start
Mm-hmm.
having a calm conversation. They start understanding where they, not where this one hurt that one, but where they hurt each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. You definitely have to listen to people when they're expressing themselves. Larry, how you keep love alive? Is it important?
Man, you let them go first, and they I got so much stuff to say about what they said. But if I confuse y'all when I say it, tell me to elaborate. So when Eric said, you can be in a relationship, or you have to make sure you love and like a person.
Mhm.
I just think about my past experiences. I loved people, but I could tell I didn't like them because they would do things that would just, or I'd be like, you know what? Let me take a ride
Mm-hmm.
down the street. I'm gonna think about some things.
Time
I don't
out.
want to be around. I had to do a time out. I was like, oh, the way you chew. And because when you love and like a person, sometimes the things that normally irritate you about other people don't irritate you as much.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's
oh,
so cute.
I'm like, you know what? I don't like when people walk around with their socks on and then get in the bed. And you do that. I just noticed you did that. I don't want you no more. Like that type of stuff, like to me, is important. You love and like a person. You accept them for who they are, and you just move on. And you just like, you know what? I just see this beautiful person in front of me, and my likes and dislikes really don't matter as much. They still matter, but they don't matter as much. And then it
Mm-hmm.
was also said, we were talking about the changes, and I feel like a person, you cannot be with a person X amount of years and think that everything about them is going to be the same as
Yeah.
it
Right.
was the day that y'all met.
Hmm.
I don't want to be with somebody that I met them and I met them this year, and 10 years from now, they're still the same person. There's no
Still the
growth.
same.
You're not evolving. If and it's crazy to me that people get mad because they're not that same person they were 10 years ago.
Yes.
If that person comes to you and say, hey, my favorite color isn't purple anymore, now it's yellow, I would ask them, what made you make that decision? There's a
Right.
conversation that you can have right there, and it can open up so many doors. But in some situations, people just shut down, and then they shut
Mm-hmm.
their relationship down. Their relationship starts to go,
Hmm.
it starts to deteriorate. But we don't ask questions as, why don't you like doing this anymore? Why do you feel this way? We don't have those conversations. And it also was said about communication. I agree. When going from one thing to the next, I feel like a lot of times we take opportunities to have conversations and we shut them down, and then we don't ask a person, okay, so I said my favorite color used to be purple but now it's yellow. What did you hear? You were listening, but what did you hear when I said that? Because a person can hear something totally different when you say something than what you meant for them to hear. And that opens up another conversation, because when you have a conversation, you want to walk away from that conversation making sure they got what you were trying to say. Because if you don't, then it's like, what was the conversation for?
Yeah.
That's what.
Love is a wonderful thing. I love love. I love being in love. I love everything about love. But love is not always comfortable. Love is not always, it doesn't always feel good sometimes. And I even talk about that in the book, where I entitle it, actually it's different domains that love falls under in this particular. I guess I call them subtitles, but love protection. I talked about how my mom would beat me and spank me and tell myself, "I'm doing this because I love you," and I would look at her like, "Woman, you done lost your raggedy behind
Don't
mind.
be saying your mom beat
How
you.
about you
No,
turn around and you
she
give me the gun? I'm
disciplined
going to
you.
show you how much I love you." But as a little black boy, you can't do that to your black mama because
Mm.
talking about the devil will rise up,
Yes, sir.
beat you down. But no,
Can
but
I?
for real, there's just certain things about love that we don't take into consideration. And I do think that we have to continue to reinvent love, what that means and what that feels like in marriages, especially if you've been um, together for a long time. So my first married twice. My first marriage was of 10 years, and my second marriage, I don't know, because it'd be like, we weren't legally married. Nigga, I was with you for 10 years. I paid my
What they
dues.
called it?
Hello,
Common law.
common
Common law
law,
marriage.
Common law.
common law. But even with that, you stupid. Even with that said, no, but for real, no. And so even with that situation, y'all are absolutely right. We continue to evolve, right? And we change every day, and we don't see the minute changes that we make
Mm-mm.
every day, because every time you encounter someone and you learn something, you have changed, and we don't take that consideration. So who you were 5, 2, 3, 10 years from now, is or can be completely different. So yeah, I completely agree with
I
all of
Can
think
I
that
ask
what
something?
you're saying. But let's take a break real quick, and when we come back, we are going to talk more about love and marriages, and because we're gonna get into our hot
love
topic
and marriage
with Derrick
and
Jack.
marriage.
Hi, what's up, y'all? Listen, real talk. I need your support. Without you, there is no me. So I ask that you pour into the same project with your whole heart, not a half a heart, but a whole one. Take a look at my new release book on Amazon.com titled Love's Pursuit Journey to Wellness. It will transform your life. Listen, I truly appreciate your love and support.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, this is DB Marshall from the same project, sponsored by Love's Pursuit Journey to Wellness. Have you jumpstart your journey? I like that. That was kind of cute. I like that. Y'all ain't gonna compliment me and be like,
I said it
It
was.
sounds real.
uh,
Yeah, it sounds real refreshing.
so hot topics, hot off the press. I know a lot of people have been having conversations about y'all been commenting on Derrick Jaxn. I'll be honest by saying I did not know who Derrick Jaxn was. Or is, because I don't know if it's is or what. Technically, he's Derrick Jaxn. Now, his brand that may be a is or a was, but I have, but however, see, David, that didn't roll off like I wanted to. But however, we're not here to bash anybody. We that's just not this platform. This platform is us looking at different situations just to see what we would have done differently, or just kind of giving our take or opinion, because I think everybody make mistakes, and whether they're intentional or unintentional, at the end of the day, we all don't make the best decisions, because I just leave it like that. And so, with that said, who wants to give us some? What? Who wants to give us some background on Derrick Jaxn? Well, I think I know a little. Just add on if I didn't give enough content. So, for
I
the most
got you.
part, is this gentleman? From my understanding, he's a YouTuber who supported Black women and their struggles with men, supported
Mhm.
women with their struggles with men. And so he is married, and I don't know how long they've been married, but he's married, and word on the street that he got someone pregnant. Then he came out and said that, hey, I have been cheating. I have been cheating on in different ways and in multifacets, meaning that I've been flirting, kissing, sleeping around, the whole 9 yards, sending cute texts and stuff like that. And he said that was not godly and it was inappropriate behavior. And he apologized with his wife's supporting him, sitting next to him. So, did I get it all or did I miss something in a nutshell?
You
In a
you pretty
nutshell,
much,
that's just a summary. That's just a
yeah,
summary.
in a nutshell, that's pretty much who he is. I would say I I'm not gonna say he's my least favorite person because he's not, but I would say that when I don't like male chauvinists, I feel I'm one to empower women. And when I watch some of his videos, I watch probably the first few minutes and I'll go to the next video, watch somebody else because it's I don't like his stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what he is. Is like you see him, he's in his car most of the time and he'll just do a video and he'll talk and empower women and let them know how men should and should not treat them, this, that, and the other. But for a while he never told because I thought he was single. He just came out and said he had a wife and kids.
Mm.
He didn't tell people he had a wife and kids because that's one thing that the world was like shocked about. Like, you married? And
Oh.
so, yeah, he never told people he was married. He never mentioned his wife and kids. I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, I think he has 4 kids with this woman. And I don't know how long they've been married, but I know they've been married over, I know they've been married over a year, but they've been married for a while. He's never showed her for whatever his reasons are. We can't say it's because he can cheat. He may have been trying to protect her, but I don't know. But we never knew he was married.
So if
He
we
never.
were in this particular situation, right? Given we're in a situation where let's be, I don't even like to call it the victim. So let's be on the receiving end. So if we were partnered with an individual like Mr. Derrick, Jackson, who's out there on this platform doing what he's doing, and all hell kind of break loose and it comes out and you are a part of it. I mean, how would you wish? I'm not, and this is hypothetical, right? Because it's a difference in assimilation and actual real response, right? So we're hypothetically speaking. I mean, what would be your response to this type of situation?
Well, for me, he and I would have to have a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and depending on the outcome or the way depending on the way the conversation flows and the outcome is when we take the next step.
Okay.
Either we separate or we stay together.
Yeah.
Now, for me, um, when I was listening to Larry, I just realized who this guy was because I think I've seen 1 or 2 of his videos.
Okay.
Now, I understand this, that although he wasn't living the life that he was teaching, he knows what that life is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like with me, I can't sing, but I know what the choir is supposed to sound like, and I know what your part is, I know what your part is, and I know what your part is, and I can teach you those parts. But if you ask me to sing it, you're gonna run me out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Never
that's just
mind.
how I looked at it.
So basically, you're saying, yeah, listen, he knew to do better. And I always say, when you know better, you do
You
better.
knew better. You do better.
Right. So I can't even,
It's
this,
like what
I
they
might
say
have to
about
take, go ahead.
it's like what they say about the preachers. We condemn them because of the lives they live, but if they're up there preaching the truth, that's spiritually sent to them because God uses who he chooses and he chooses who he uses.
Oh,
And if everybody was perfect, then he couldn't use somebody as ratchet and dirty as me.
Oh. Let me put my.
you need an
I
offering.
used to put your finger up. And grandma was
Pass
like,
the
"You better
plate
put your
around.
finger up before you walk out. Don't you disrespect the church like that." But that
Where the
was,
plate at?
yeah,
Where the plate? You need an offering.
that's good. What you say, Pastor?
Pass the plate around.
I just think I think there I don't I'm not gonna say he was lying. And the reason I'm saying he wasn't lying about who he was, because if you look back at y'all remember Zane?
I don't know.
Zane, the
The writer.
erotic, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Zane was a housewife. She
Mm-hmm.
was a housewife with children, a soccer mom. But her brand would give you that she's a single woman doing her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think his brand was this
Bad.
relationship
Mm-hmm. It's bad.
advocate or whatever. And this is what I'm not going to say he was lying, but I think that's what his brand was. However, this is my issue with him. Even though that's your brand, I don't think you should be hypocritical. I don't
Right.
think that you should be telling me what I should be doing and I should be doing this. And we as black men are not doing this and you're not doing it. You're acting as if all your I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed. That's my issue with him because had you been doing that all along, we wouldn't be like, you're a fraud.
Yeah.
I think that's
Right.
everybody's perception of him. I mean, their reaction of him now because you've been doing this and acting like you've just been all that and a bag of chips with a pickle and a peppermint in the middle, and you're none of that.
Yeah.
That's the southern thing, Larry. I'm sorry.
I mean,
thing.
in Memphis, we put a
Chips
peppermint
without
in the
the
middle of our
peppermint.
pickle, but a bag of chips and a
Some plain lays and a pickle.
Eric sound like he's pregnant.
Onions, onions at that.
Of
Yeah.
years.
You know what? Yeah, I love y'all. Keep letting them go first so I can pick it up. Because how I feel about the situation is I have 2 points. So I remember growing up, going to church. We had a pastor, and he would preach all this stuff, but he would always double back and say, "I'm not perfect. I used to be on drugs. I did this. I did that." He never made it seem like he's never done those things. So you're looking at him like he's human because I think in essence, a lot of
And you can
things,
receive from them.
yeah, because on the spirit, I would say on the spiritual side, you know that those things are still waiting at the door for you to open them and welcome them back in. So we know he still struggles with these things daily. So we listening to him and we like, he's teaching us from experience, but if those things were to happen again, at least he's been honest with us. Or if something was to come out to us, we know like he's already been honest with us. So I agree with Eric. He should have been more honest about what what he's been through, what his experiences were within his marriage. But to go back to what David was saying, if before he got me on that camera, we would have had that conversation because I'm not going to attack her like everybody else was. Because she did look through, tired, and delayed. She probably was through and tired all the times he been cheated on us. She probably was sick of it. But my thing of it is, I would have asked him the question: if you're gonna bring me on camera, you're not gonna make me look dumb. I would have looked at him. I would look to the side. You over here empowering all these women, but I'm your wife. How many times did you empower me and encourage me? What were you doing behind the scenes? I'm just like, you put me on here. You're not going to make me look stupid. I want to ask you questions. What did you do in your own home to empower your woman?
Charity begins at home. Charity begins at home.
So what did you do? Because right now, I'm sitting on here looking stupid. These people don't even know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do daily to encourage me and empower me so I'm sitting by your side. But
with a bonnet on.
It wasn't even a bonnet. It was one of them skull cap like things. She was tired, and it's like she didn't look, and she looked so beaten down. And then in the interview, she was saying, because I saw small clips of, because I just couldn't stomach it when it first started. I was like, I can't do it. But she was saying how she would go look at the women, and she was obsessed with them, and she wanted to see what they look like and what they did, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, do you know how bad how her ego must feel? That's the opposite of empowering. Like,
but she's bared her 4 children. She's bared her children. Of course, her body is not going to look, the best. However, Kiki Wyatt had 11? And her body is snatched. So, I mean, hey, I guess everybody's situation is different. But
like somebody said, When she
She
died,
got major snapback.
their uterus is gonna still be working. When she died, I'm gonna have to have her to have me a couple of kids because she,
Listen,
I think all you guys make really good points. And and again, I don't want to kind of like focus on, you know, what she did and what she didn't do because what I would like to just make sure is that we provide information if we were kind of in situations like that, like how would we respond. And again, it's hypothetical how would we approach. And I think Larry made a really good point. Well, all of you guys made a good point, but really just saying, hey, have you empowered me like that? And I would like to have actually heard that on that video, and I tell them, how you empower me and how you treat me and things like that, because it
Right.
comes off like she's the victim. And we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, right? We're not in that home. So we don't know if he's empowering her or not. But that would have been a good opportunity, if they wanted to share that. Honestly, for me, I wouldn't even born that on that platform. In my
mm-mm,
opinion, if it was my
Me.
relationship, I wouldn't have bought it on that platform. It's not nobody's business. Um, until you make it their business. People gonna talk regardless, right? But I
Mm-hmm.
understand that maybe they wanted to kind of hear from him, but that is a behind the door type situation that needed to be handled.
Mm-hmm.
He
first,
wanted to come out
first.
and apologize to his fans and his followers. I get that. But to
Hmm.
bring my marriage on, camera like that, is just, I just wouldn't have done it, Eric.
it was kind of
I think
tacky.
I think she should have. If I was her, I would have used that platform for my advantage
Mhm. To benefit.
because I always say this, and I'm not big on cheating and all that kind of stuff because, like I said earlier, I'm very candid. I can be brutally honest at times, so I'm not about trying to spare feelings and all that. I want you to know exactly how I feel. So I mean, I've tried to say it where you can receive it. However, if I was her, I would have used that to my advantage. Everybody cheats for a reason. It doesn't give them a reason to cheat. It doesn't give them a pass to cheat, but everybody cheats for a reason. Sometimes people cheat and they fall into situations because maybe you're not being open enough. Maybe you're not. I don't feel like you care about me. I don't feel like you listen to me. I'm having a hard day at work, and you're not available.
Yeah.
You're not available to me. So when I'm talking to this person listens to everything that we talk about or whatever. I feel like they hear me. I feel like they see me. Then sexually, maybe you're not meeting my needs sexually,
Mhm.
and you're telling me no, you don't look appealing to me.
Yeah.
And it's male and female. Maybe you don't look appealing to me. Every time I come home, you got the same pants on, the same shirt, you got this bonnet on your head, or you got this do rag on your head. You just looking like you just got out the bed. I mean, when I
Talking
come
about
home
me.
from
Stop telling my business.
work, have you taken a bath? I want to, when I hug you, I want to smell something that smells good.
Yeah.
They cheat for different reasons. And so I think once she would have this private conversation with him, I want to know, what did this woman give you? What was these women giving you that I wasn't giving you? And it kind of helps you as a person, even if you decide to go forward with them or leave them and move forward with somebody else. It lets you know in the next relationship, okay, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. That's true. I always felt and still feel that it always takes two. And you may not realize what idiosyncrasies that you may have that is not pleasing to your mate. And for them, although they're idiosyncrasies for you, it can be monumental for them. And I always use um, this because I get complaints about it. So I'm not a huge kisser, and in couple of my relationships, they were done with me in my pics. It was huge and monumental for them, but it was my idiosyncrasy. Oh, that was good enough. Now, once you start sticking all your tongues and stuff down my throat, but that's my personal issue, and I'm not going to get into my phobia and why I'm like that. But I am going to say this: that could have been it, Eric, but it also could have been the fact that he's dealing or that
Pandemic, yes.
person is dealing with some things as far as voice. Because one thing
Mm-hmm.
I learned in our community, that oftentimes we have a lot of frivolous sex because we're trying to compensate and fill voids. And
Mm-hmm.
and it goes back to speaking our truth when we kind of talked about that, until you start addressing these issues, nobody's going to be able to fill them potholes. No, you have to fill them potholes. You have to do the work.
At all.
David,
And
go ahead,
sometimes
and we'll go ahead, then we'll go with a commercial break.
now sometimes the infidelity doesn't have anything to do with
Absolutely.
the person that they're with. Is sometimes it's like having a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction. So because you can be getting everything you need at home, but still out there getting that extra because you have an addiction, you have a sickness, you have an
Mm-hmm.
illness.
Yeah, and that's good.
You
I
greedy.
appreciate every piece of information that we receive. Thank you for sharing your opinions as it relates to this particular thing. This type of stuff is never easy, because when we have our person, we hope that our person is going to make some really, really good sound decisions, but that's just not realistic. Yeah,
Right.
I can say that all of us on this platform has made some decisions. We like, what was I thinking? And sometimes we are so caught up in the turmoil, the pain, the hurt, the mask. I think Eric mentions one time removing the mask, that we don't even realize what we are dealing with within ourselves. Well, it's that time again. However, this is not a goodbye, but a see you next week. And listen, if no one has told you that they love you today, please allow me to be the first. I love you. Take care.